Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of SW Elite. We are happy to have you joining with us today on either Spotify or YouTube. This week and the next couple weeks, we are going to be starting our build series. And we are super excited about this. So a lot of you will probably see the screen if you're on YouTube and be like, okay, that probably has to do something with basketball IQ. And you are correct. Our build series comes from our 2026 word, which is build. And building takes time. Greatness doesn't happen overnight. And so it happens one purposeful step at a time. We're going to be talking about something that most teams don't even spend enough time on, and that is your basketball IQ. What is basketball IQ? In this series, we're going to talk about all the things to help you have a better basketball IQ. Let's get started so we can make good decisions, see the big picture, and adapt to any situation thrown at us.
So we're going to hit the ground running. It is a new year. These are probably the most important things that we feel like you need to master and get good at, because as you become physically fit and you already have this, you're going to be an unstoppable player and be such a great addition to your team. So what is basketball IQ? Really, this ties to intelligence if you want to know where the word IQ comes from. But more than anything, your basketball IQ is how we're going to start. This is your ability to read the game, to make the right decisions under pressure, to anticipate what's coming next before it happens. It's not about how high you jump, how fast you run, your mile minute pace. It's about your mind and how it works with your skills. Because you could be the most talented athlete and jump the highest, but you might have the lowest IQ of your team or around those you compete with. We want you to have better basketball IQ. So today we're really getting to get into the nitty-gritty of this, how we're going to outline the next couple weeks and really challenge you to become better with your IQ. If you think you have great IQ, it can still get better. I promise mine's still improving, and I've been playing basketball for years. So remember, elite shooters to Hall of Famers, the difference maker isn't always physical, it's mental. And we want you to have the best mental IQ you can.
Absolutely. So we're going to dive into some evidence-based research and why IQ matters. So research shows that intelligent decision-making predicts performance over time. And the more you play, the better you get, the smarter you get, and you're able to see things a little bit better. However, there was a study published in the Journal of Expertise, and it found that athletes with a higher sport-specific cognitive skill outperform physical attributes when pressure increases. In other words, athletes who see the game faster make better decisions, and guess what? They win more. So let's think about that. If you are able to see the game a little bit quicker, maybe 2 or 3 seconds ahead of something before something happens, like running a play, are you able to predict where your teammates are going to be, where they're going to go? Are they going to go to the open spot? Are they going to make the full cut? If we can predict that a little bit quicker and see our teammates, it comes as like court vision. I think of like court vision too, of like passing the ball ahead and not looking down and dribbling like ding, 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 right? Our eyes are up. We see the thing. It's like an awakening. Our brain is like, has this like, and then we get that pass ahead of them. We're not waiting. And guess what? When we pass and when we get things and see a little bit quicker, it's true. We win more. We win more plays. We win the spot, we win the battle, and it's cool, and it takes practice. And so remember, we're going for progress, not perfection. So keep that in mind as we go through the series. Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, the second I really wanted to back what we shared today with research and what they're finding, because you could go look and do all these things, but all of us want to win more. All of us want to be more successful and have those great moments. Well, here's how you do it. And this is the nitty gritty work to be able to get to that part. And to be able to anticipate and recognize patterns, you've got to be able to be quicker. You got to be able to predict and anticipate those next steps. And it helps you set up your teammates and yourself to be successful in play-by-play action. And so as you do these little things, they will translate on and off the court. This is what's cool. Basketball and real life, they're so interconnected. It's pretty cool. So, with the research, now let's talk about how does IQ actually look? What do we mean when we say IQ? So, we're going to break that down into 4 areas of somebody who has really high IQ as a player. One, you have really good space awareness. So you know how your coaches call those plays and they talk about your aware, like you need to be here, you need to be here. Well, do you need to be told every time where to go, or can you see it? I've played enough basketball when I see 4 or 5 people on the same side of the court or when I'm in that mix, it's like, get out, move, get away. So you need to be able to know where to be before the ball even arrives in that spot. It's awareness, it's seeing where your teammates are at and all of that. Anticipate, 2 steps ahead. You know the offense so well that you're like, okay, well, that screen comes here, this pass goes there, that cut goes here. What am I seeing in the defense that I need to read and maybe tweak that a little bit, or be in that right moment to hit the screen correctly, to make that face cut and make it efficient, to be able to make that pass in a way that I get it to my teammates so they can score. So you've got to anticipate all of these things. And this comes defensively and offensively. And I will tell you, working with players, the best way to get your anticipation better is on the defensive end. Because if you learn to read people and where they're going to turn and go and how to get in that passing lane and get the steal, guess what? You're already 2 or 3 steps ahead. And that usually will translate into a better offensive player with that. The third one is reading defense, which is exactly what I was kind of getting into. How do people attack the zones versus a man? And how do you read cues to help you? And then how do I read the defense that's guarding me? And I mean, this plays into all sports. We're just taking it from a basketball standpoint today. But how do I read that opponent? How do I read their strengths, their weaknesses? Where's the opening? If they're in a zone, where is that zone open? How do I get that open pass to my teammate who sees and reads that open spot? And then the fourth one, which is so crucial, this is on and off the court, is a great IQ player has amazing communication. I can't tell you how many times I tell players and teams, talk, talk, talk. And I'm sure Shalyse would attest to that the same. You have to learn to talk. And I'm not the loudest person on the floor. I'm not. I will be completely honest. And I'm not the loudest coach, but I do know how to communicate. And my teammates can hear me. Even when I play currently, I'm telling people, hey, cutter, 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 see that person. It makes a difference. And when I don't, I'm letting my team down. So a good communicator talks on the court and leads their teammates and helps with that. You do not need to be a point guard to be the best communicator on your team.
Absolutely. And the way I'm thinking about it is one of our best communicators is actually our post, because the posts are down low. You can see everything that's going on. They're a little bit lower than everyone else, but like what said, it can literally be anybody. Are you talking on the bench? Or are you just kind of soaking in your own emotions of, I'm on the bench, I'm not on the floor, why me, da 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 da. You could be talking on the bench, going through plays, making sure, oh, hey, look, did you see that cut? Hey, what defense are they in? So that way when you get out on the floor, it's like, okay, I know they're in a 2-3 zone. Corners are going to be open if we swing the ball fast enough, or wings are going to be open, or we're going to have this high-low advantage. And then on defense, if you're trapping, like, you know, they're trying to get to the middle, it's going to be, they're going to probably do 2 or 3 passes back and forth and try and hit middle. It all comes with like that anticipation of and seeing where you're at. A lot of us still like to hold hands, and like, especially like, I'm very defensive minded, so my mind goes to defense, like spatial awareness and being in help. A lot of us still like to hold hands with our best friends, and we let the back door be wide open when we should be in help. But and all this comes with time and practice and effort and working towards it. And the more you communicate and ask the hard questions, and don't feel stupid for asking a question that your teammate may have just asked and you weren't paying attention. Ask it anyway, because the more you ask, the more that communication is going to open doors for you. And as you communicate, you build those relationships. And in our last podcast, we talked about relationships and how important they can be and how far they can take you outside of the basketball world. But we have to start now. So pick one thing that you can start doing today. And that would probably be opening your mouth and talking. We know you're talking, we know your chatterboxes off the court and at home, and you're always texting or and all this stuff. We know your chatterboxes, but just get on the court, and you get on the court and it's like mute, but just start talking. And so we're going to kind of just give you a little peek into what the next couple weeks are going to look like and what we're going to talk about. So we have 4 pillars that we're gonna focus on. The first one is build awareness. So knowing where everyone is at all the time, knowing where your teammates are, knowing all the plays, knowing where each player needs to be on running the plays or on defense. Like, where do you got to be on defense? Number 2, build anticipation. So predict the play outcome. And this can also go into like help with like your visualization. If you do visualization, we're going to talk about how that can help you build your anticipation because your brain sees it before you even go and do it. So it's going to be awesome.
So the third one we're going to go over is build your decision speed. Being able to make just like those quick decisions in the right moments and to make that right play faster. And then the fourth one will be build communication. Lead your team with words and with actions. Remember, there's more than just verbal communication, there's nonverbal communication, which is by your body language and how you act. And that says a lot. Whether you're a coach or a teammate, you actually probably get more communication based off of body language and how people react than you do just with their physical or verbal communication, because that says a lot about athletes. And really, as we've thought about this, I want to go back to what we shared a few podcasts ago of the animals. Okay, so I'm going to give the animal analogy, and I want to repeat it because I feel like this is crucial to your IQ. So many players and people want hand fed today. Just give it to me. I can look it up. I don't have to think about it. It's easy. I go to fast foods. I don't have to prepare my food. All the things we want, things easy. And our society has actually set it up to be that way. So that's a pitfall of our society a little bit. We've not learned from that yet. It's like a zoo animal who always gets fed, who always gets what they want, doesn't have to go out and hunt, doesn't have to do any of that. Well, the same applies in basketball. So many players and athletes nowadays just want to be told what to do instead of building their IQ and getting stronger. If you think of a wild animal is really good at hunting and tracking and finding their prey to be able to live and survive. And if they don't, they're going to die. That's the type of IQ mentality Shalyse and I want you to have. I know we usually don't tell you to be wild, but in this sense, we're going to tell you to become a wild animal, a free animal that has the knowledge, the tools, the characteristics, and the ability to be that type of player. You should not have to be told every little detail of what to do in sports or in life if you're learning and growing and taking the tools and things you're gaining in your education to become a wild animal, to set you up for success. Because there'll come a time in your basketball career, whether that's in the short future or long future, where you're not going to have a play in everything being able to be told to you. You're going to have to make those decisions in the instant moment to know what to do. And we want you to be successful in those moments instead of crumble under the pressure and the heat. And when you've already done this work, it's going to help you be super successful.
Absolutely. And I was having a conversation with a head coach about this, about zoo animals versus wild animals, and it's a battle of the two at every single game that you step into. Are you going to be the zoo animals that get captured by the wild animals and lose every time because your IQ isn't there, your confidence isn't there, you're not building those steps? Are you going to be those wild animals that go and like get the kill? Not necessarily like killing anybody, but you get it, like get the kill, get the win. And they take them out one by one. If they can get under your skin, if that's by like, I wouldn't say trash talking, but just like that clapping in your face, or they score a bucket and you're defending and they score on you, like it can be that, like, are you gonna let them capture you and let them succeed, or are you gonna smack their hand and be like, okay, I'll let you have it that time, like, but I'm gonna go score on you now? It's that choice of, are you gonna sit there and soak in your things and hopefully your coach will hold your hand and tell you where you need to go and say, good job, like you'll get it next time? Or are they gonna be like, come on, like you got it next time, and be that wild animal and you're predicting like, I gotta go get a steal, I gotta go score, I gotta be in this position, right? It's a choice you gotta make every single day. Do I want to be successful in my life? What things am I gonna do to be successful in my life? To go out and be that dog? Because a lot of you are like, be the dog, and all of you are like, I'm a dog or whatever, right? But are you willing to be that wild dog? Or are you gonna be that caged up dog that's like, oh, cute, right? The choice is yours. And we want you, like what said, to be that wild animal that goes out and fights and defends and protects and wins the battle every single time. And as we go throughout these pillars, we're gonna learn how to become those wild animals and to be successful in all aspects of our life. And so, how do we practice that every single day? You don't need a ball to build IQ. Some things that you can do is you can watch game film. Don't just watch the 2-minute highlights that it gives you at the end of the game or whatever. Really watch the game film. Watch you and how you are performing. Are you in the right spot? Are you running the right play? Do you look like you're a lost animal? Or do you actually look like you know what you're doing? Another thing you can do is study how elite players make decisions. So it could be like reading books. It could also be watching like college basketball games. You can study like your favorite player and see how they make their decisions, how they move on the court, how they have their spatial awareness. But that's just something you can do to help build your IQ.
Shalyse, to pipe in on that, I love too watching an athlete that you're gonna play against their position. I remember, I mean, I wish I had more accessibility to film back when I played because that was not there was not Huddle back then. But the cool thing is you can watch people you're gonna go play against. Where are they strong? What are they good at? How does that point guard, if you're the point guard, how do they run the offense? Are they confident? Is their body language show like, I'm a leader, I'm a bucket, or are they timid? Are they struggling? And it's not to judge them. You don't know their story and all of that, but how much better would it make you to learn from them? Okay, how do I become more like that? Where is their strengths and weaknesses when I play them? I need to match that. So I think there's that other opportunity too of if you're playing or it could be your own team. If I'm being completely honest, if you're a freshman that has a really good solid point guard and you're like the sophomore point guard, are you watching the girls older than you to get better? What are they good at? How could I be better at that? How's their IQ? What do I see? It's those types of things that will make you better as an athlete.
And, like, going off of that, it's, like, paying attention at practice because some of you go to practice in, like, the varsity gym, and then you go for an hour in the younger gym or vice versa, and it's like, okay, like, what is the coach telling those players to do that, like, I can implement in my younger games? If you have the opportunity to play sophomore JV and maybe a couple varsity minutes, like, take what you're learning in the varsity gym and implement it in your sophomore and JV games, so that way when your jersey number is called to be put into varsity, you're like, "I know exactly what I gotta do." But if we're just chit-chatting on the side to our best friends and not even paying attention to what's even happening in the varsity gym, because it doesn't apply to me, I'm not getting any minutes anyway, well, guess what? They may get hurt. They may get concussed. They may have something happen, and guess what? You're next. Are you ready for it? Because guess what? Tag, you're it. If you're not ready for it, then the freshman who's been sitting and waiting, anticipating, and paying attention, they're going to get pulled out in front of you. And the choice is yours. Are you paying attention and watching? Or are you just chit-chatting on the side having the best time of your life?
Absolutely.
Um, a couple other two more things is visualize plays before going to sleep. So a lot of us are laying there anyway, just thinking about our days or just have our minds turning. Maybe we can have our minds turning about certain plays that we may struggle with running or that we're really good at running, or if your coach has taught you a new defense or a new play at practice, like maybe you run through it. You're the point guard for one of the times you run through it. Then you're the post, and then you're the shooting guard, or you're the screener, or whatever it may be. Run through each play and run through it as if you're playing each and every single position. Because if you can run the play at every single position and know where everybody's supposed to be, you'll become a more deadly person on the court, and you'll be able to help direct traffic and open your mouth and say nice words and help your teammates be in the right spots where they need to be. And this ties into the last one, which is walk through reads in your head before practice. So it's like sometimes like we do a lot of the same things at practice, or like we run through a lot of the same things just because repetition builds good habits. And so it's like, okay, I know we're going to be going through our trap zone today and I'm on offense. Like how can I get the ball to the middle faster? Can I get it up the court faster? Or if you're on defense, how many times are they going to pass it back and forth before they try and attempt it to the middle?
Hmm.
Or like, am I ready to do that jump pass? Cut it off. Or like, if you're the lowest person on the court and they get the ball, like, how are you gonna anticipate to stop the ball and, like, are you gonna fake them out? Are they gonna get that wide open layup? Are you gonna stop them? Are you gonna close out? Like, all these things of, how are you gonna read the play if it gets passed to the wing? There's so many, possibilities, but it's just, like, picking one and saying, "If the ball gets passed to the wing and I'm in this corner, where do I need to go? What do I need to do?" But, your mind is your best muscle, and so if we can start working our minds a little bit harder just by running through plays or thinking about certain situations, our brain will already see it, and we talked about it. If when our brain sees it, it does, like, this aha moment, so when it actually happens, it's like, "Oh, I already did this. This is easy." And the more we exercise our brain power, the better we can become.
Yeah, I love the thought of how our mind is a muscle. If you think about it, when you first physically start lifting weights, it's like, holy smokes, I can't walk and my legs hurt. And going up and down the stairs is brutal. I really think that's the same in basketball IQ. When you go from like a junior jazz or like a lower league team to even like a junior high, that's a big jump. And it's sometimes like, oh, my brain hurts. I don't get this. I struggle with this. And then the same thing happens when you go from junior high to high school. Like, I've seen it in freshmen, they'll come up and it's like deer in the headlights of like, "I don't get it. I don't understand." That's okay. It's okay to not know right now. You're learning and you're growing. You're not expected to know it all right now. However, if you have to be repeatedly taught the same thing, that says a lot about where your IQ is and what you're actually doing off the court. Because remember, this does not take a ball to build and grow. Does it help? Yes. And do repetition help? Yes. But if you're not doing the little things to help you grow your IQ, it makes a big difference. And I've talked to girls that have gone to play college. The same thing happens from high school to college. It's like, holy smokes, that's a big step in my IQ. And so remember, you want to have this become natural to you. You should not have to be like, "Oh yeah, what play do I have to run? We learned that last week, but I don't remember." Like you should just know and be able to flow with it. That will help alleviate a lot of stress on your brain so you can be in the moment to play and to not have to stress. So this is why we're focusing on this and trying to build your IQ. We want it to be so natural to you. You don't have to think too much. That you can go have fun and to play and not like give yourself your own stress and pressure from these issues because a lot of these issues do come from your basketball IQ. So think about it. Who would you respect more if we're talking IQ and teammates and all of that? An athlete who gets 10 rebounds a game maybe once every 7 or 8 games, or one who leads the team in big moments, who makes the right call and elevates everybody around them consistently? They show up game in and game out and are able to do that. Elite basketball IQ is what separates you and helps you gain the respect as a person, as a teammate, and honestly from your coaches too. Somebody who has that IQ is going to gain the respect of coaches because they're kind of a step ahead of everybody and they're able to be taught and build upon. So take this with an open heart and open mind. We don't expect you to have an understand and a know it all. We're trying to give you the tools to help you get to that point. Now you got to put in the work and the effort with this.
Absolutely, and the one example that I keep on thinking about is because obviously we want the person who leads the team in big situations, is a lot of the times people will look at us coaches and look for us to call a play, tell them what play they need to run. Okay, to have that good IQ, maybe like you already know what play you need to run, and you don't need your coaches to tell you what play you need to run. You already know. You already know what out of bounds play because as coaches, we may have pulled someone out and we're talking to them and you're screaming at us, "What play are we gonna run? What play are we gonna run, coach?" And we gotta have that conversation. Just maybe like assess the situation and then have that IQ. And that's gonna come with time and practice and repetitions of I know what play we got to run. I don't need my coach to tell me what we need to run. But that's just another example and stuff we're going to talk about of IQ. And so, um, this week's challenge. So, we're going to ask you, where is your current IQ and where do you need to improve? And there's 3 questions that we want you to write down after maybe like every practice. Write down the answers to these 3 questions and see where you're at and see where you need to improve. And so the first one is, what did you notice? Did you notice that you were in the right spot? Were you in the wrong spot? Or did you run the right play? Or did you notice that someone didn't do a back cut or whatever? Whatever you notice, that's like an aha moment. You're like, "Oh, I coulda cut or I coulda jumped that pass," whatever it is. So many examples, so many options. Number 2, what did you miss? Not, "I missed a shot, I missed a layup." We don't focus on your those type of misses. It's the, "I missed setting a screen for my person who had a wide open back cut if I set the back screen." Or I decided to look left instead of right and I got nailed on a screen. Or I wasn't talking and my teammate got nailed by a screen and is on the floor. I missed that communication piece. And third is, how will I improve tomorrow? So after you go through what you notice, what did you miss, what am I going to do better tomorrow so I notice it and I don't miss it? So
Yeah.
that's your challenge.
You do that, your IQ is gonna grow. And you're gonna make better decisions. You're gonna see the bigger picture, and you're gonna adapt to any situation so much quicker because sometimes the games changes so fast, the momentum shift happens so fast. There isn't time for a coach to tell you what to do. There isn't time for you to always talk to your teammates. You've got to just find that in you and be able to roll with that. That's where teams become really successful and have those undefeated seasons and have those wins. That's what we want for each of you. We want that for you, for your teams, and to become more successful and really to raise the IQ of girls basketball, right? It starts now. It starts while you're younger and being able to see it. One of my favorite people to watch is Caitlin Clark. I think because she played with boys at such a young age, she was ingrained with faster pace and she had to build her basketball IQ. That's what makes her good. She's not the only one, right? There's a lot of other female athletes out there who I could sit and list a ton of them, but for time's purpose, I won't. They have raised basketball IQ and have helped women's basketball become where it is today because of these things. They do exactly what we're sharing with you today. We want you to have that. And not only will this help you in the game, it actually is going to help you in life. To be honest, in my career, as a doctor and being able to make decisions and help people, am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Yes. But it has helped my brain become faster and quicker to help make decisions and find diagnosis and treatments for people a lot faster because I worked on my basketball IQ. And it's crazy how those skills play on each other. And as I got better at that as a doctor, guess what? It also helped my basketball IQ. So do not limit this just to basketball. If you keep failing in an area in your life or in school, ask these questions about that class or about that subject. Figure out where you need to improve on that and get the help that you need. And just like in basketball, if you need to ask a coach to help you do it, get some training. Come see one of us. Come work with one of your coaches. Ask and learn more. We want you to be successful and to have that in basketball. So we appreciate you joining us today. We are so excited for the next 4 weeks as we work through this build mini program and help you with your basketball IQ. And we hope you'll join us and get your teammates and your peers to come join us so they can become better. And as you guys do this together, you're going to have super successful seasons and bright futures ahead of you. So thanks for joining. Please subscribe, follow, and we will look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye, guys.